Hey everyone, Hunter here, or 5 Legacy Studios. Welcome to today's episode of Building Hoth, week 19. I almost said week 18 there. And this week we got quite a bit done. I actually started on something that came out of nowhere in my mind. I was trying to think of some ideas for this week's segment earlier this week, because last week I did the finishing of the ridges of the trench, and this week I was like, crud, what can I do this week? I'm not sure. So I went on the internet, looked at some other mocks, including Hoth mocks. Yes, I do look at other ones for inspiration. But I was looking at some ideas. I also was looking at other mocks, but I found this really cool mock that had a pretty cool mountain on it, and I'm like, that actually sounds like a good idea. And so I started thinking about it. I started prototyping it, and I'm like, this is it. This is going to work. I pretty much came up with it and... well, came up with a design on the spot, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to continue this, and I really like how it came out. It is not done, but it's a good start. So let's get right into this segment. Okay, guys, so starting off the segment, I did want to show you guys a few little things that I did do this week, other than the mountain, of course, which I'll show in just a moment. So first thing is, I did start to colorize the snowspeeder in the right color. Again, as I mentioned previously, I was going to change it to orange, the dark gray stripe in the back. I've started that. Both sides have a little bit of the orange. It isn't of course complete, just because it doesn't have all the exact parts. So moving on to this side as well. As you see right there on the X-Wing, it is a bit different. What I did over there is I switched the white engine pieces with gray, and what I mean by that is right here, as you can see, those used to be in white. What I ended up doing is removing the white ones, putting them back on my U-wing. And I didn't do that just because I really want my U-wing back together. I did it because I think, for some reason in my mind, I was like, white just, I don't know. It looked odd in my opinion. And so I changed it with gray, and I'm like, it looks, well, okay. So the reason why I changed it was white. I think it looked brand new and all that. It looked like a new X-Wing that was just made. And I like that look. It's just I wanted this to be like a used X-Wing that people have fought with. So that was something I did end up changing. But for the main part of this episode is focused on this bad boy right here. So I started working on a mountain. It's actually come out quite well, I think, in my opinion. Now, it is not done. Of course, as you can see, this part right here is not done at all. It's actually supposed to be at least another 2 bricks high, I think. I think that's how high I want it to be. So about 2 bricks more higher than what it is at the moment. I think it looks great at the moment as is. And of course, this is even when the 2 bricks high are at its peak. I'm not going to be done with the mountain. I also want to continue it going forth. So like when I push this table over onto that this section onto the table behind us, and I start working on the next one, I'm going to continue the mountain and finish it. So theoretically, it's going to go to about right here. And of course, it does have a little top right there. I put that together pretty fast, I guess you could say. I will be putting like a few rebels on top of here and having like little, maybe a sniper positions of a few rebels. I might even consider putting another ion cannon on top of this thing right here. So overall, I really like the mountain. Let me get up and show you guys. Okay, I need to get on this side. Basically showing you guys this. It's very difficult to maneuver around this, I guess you could say, just because it's not easy to move around. So this is the other side of the mountain. I think I did pretty good on this mountain, especially this is the first time I've actually done a decent sized mountain of this size. I did a little bit on that clone base like 2 years ago and all that, but this is a bit more detailed in my opinion. I used a bunch of different slopes in this. I used 1x3, 1x2, 1x3x2 pieces. A bunch of them, a bunch of different slopes went into this. I really like it. Again, this is not finished, of course, because I need to finish it on this side. But what I also like about this mountain is, as you can see at the bottom right here, they are not going at the same direction. So everything is going down, where the bottom is actually going sideways. I found that technique online and I fell in love with it. I thought it was a cool and great idea to use, and so I did end up using it. I'm pretty happy with it. It goes all the way around. Again, it is going to continue, or the mountain is going to continue a bit farther after I move this table, or I keep calling it table, this section onto the table behind myself. Also, I didn't stop there. Didn't stop there on the mountain right here. I also created an inside of the mountain. So before I actually made it inside, it was very messy. It was very ugly, I guess you can say. What I did is I wanted to keep the inside hollow so I can put something in it. Originally, I was going to do a little, not bunker, because the bunker's behind it, but a little hatch right here on the top where a rebel can come through, because like I mentioned, I want to put a cannon up here and have a few rebels in sniping position. Well, that was the original idea. I still want to put the cannon in the rebels and all that, but I didn't. I put the hatch up here. I built one. It was a fine design and all that. I just didn't like the look of it. It just looked a little odd to me. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to do something else. And the idea that I ended up using actually turned out pretty great, in my opinion. So you can't have Hoth without having Mr. Good Old Wampa right there. I made a little Wampa cave. I know it isn't the biggest deal or biggest thing that you may think, but I ended up deciding to do it. The reason why is I was trying to think of something to put in here, like I mentioned before. I didn't like the hatch and all that, and I was like, I really want to put a Wampa cave in this mock. I know this isn't accurate, of course, being this is the battlefield, and the Wampa cave, of course, was not right there. But I was like, you know what? I really want to have it, and I ended up putting it there. I'm pretty happy where it's placed, actually. So now I can actually take this off. It is removable pretty simply, actually. It isn't the hardest thing. As you can see, there's studs poking out, basically holding it in place. So here's a better look of the inside of the Wampa cave. It isn't done, of course. I have a few things I still want to add, a few extra details in it. But I have the Wampa right here. I have his little bone of, I'm pretty sure that's the bones from a Tauntaun. And of course, I have Luke hanging upside down. I also have his lightsaber right there, covered in the snow, basically recreating that little scene. And I'm pretty happy how the Wampa cave turned out. I have ice, I had the translucent clear pieces. Those are meant to be like ice and all that. I'm pretty happy how it came out. It isn't supposed to be too big of a deal, or it's supposed to be too much to be thought of course, in the battlefield. But I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Excuse me. And I think you guys will quite like it. I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny to have the Wampa cave here. And of course, I've used a bunch of white pieces or white 2x6 bricks or whatever. I can't think of the name of it. I think it's actually 2x5 bricks. And I've basically put that all around here, covering all the exposed pieces, all the different colors and all that, and it blocks it, which I think it looks fine. And I had to cover this spot right here because I used red bricks. Come around to here, right here, because of course filler. And I made sure that these walls right here were white because I want it to be all white when I take it to the convention in Chicago. So in my opinion, I think it looks great. The only problem I do have with this is I don't know why, but it seems like it's out of place. I know you might be thinking, well, yeah, it's the Wampa cave. I don't know. It just looks pretty... I don't know. I think it looks fine and all that. I'm pretty happy. The mountains, they did have mountains in the Battle of Hoth and all that. So that's pretty accurate. But I don't know. My mind is thinking that it's just out of place just because there's no 6x6 white plates. There's no white plates in general over there. So that probably is the reason. And if it is, then after I get the parts in, then that problem should end up going away. Because I actually really like this mountain. I think I did a pretty great job on it, especially being, again, this is the first time I've done a mountain like this. So I'm pretty happy with what I got. Now, as you can see, the crash snow speeder placement has been changed a bit. I moved it up, and I'm thinking about moving it further to the side again. Originally, it was like right here, and being I put the mountain here, I had to push it forward. I didn't want it too close to the mountain, and I think it's still a bit too close, so I'm thinking about taking these bricks off and filling it right there and having it right here. I don't know. I don't want it too close to the mountain just because I think it'll just look a little, not inaccurate, but a little awkward right there. So I'm going to move it. That's going to be one thing I'm going to do or have for next week's segment. Again, the mountain is not done. I know I've said that multiple times. It is not done. It will be complete. I'll probably work on it a bit more this week. I have run out of most of the essential sloping pieces, so I need to get some more of that. I also do want to mention I did order my $35 purchase on Lego.com for parts and all that. I have ordered this month's, and that is coming. I actually purchased it about an hour ago, and that's filled with 100 1x1 tiles, 100 cheese slopes, 60 1x1 plate, 1x1 plates, and a bunch of other parts. So that is coming in the mail. Also, good news. I know I've mentioned that I'm gonna get these 6x6 plates. That is gonna happen hopefully this week, because I just got paid, and hopefully I'll be purchasing that before next segment. So hopefully by next segment I can say, hey, I bought the parts. So I'm excited. I really want to get these white 6x6 parts in. That way I can start filling this in. Everything will look a lot more nicer and complete. After that happens, I will be taking this. Well, I need to clear this area off. I'm going to clear everything off, slide that to the side, and we can start working on the front section. I still need to purchase about 6 more base plates so I can actually continue on that. But I'm pretty happy with what work we did. I know the mountain isn't too important to the point where working on the actual plating and all that, but I'm pretty happy I decided to add it. I wanted to have something in the mock in this section that gives it a bit more detail, because I know that this side has the little ditch right there, or the divot right there. We have the crash snow speeder that will be pushed over here. We have the trenches, of course, but I wanted something that continues the detail on this mock. So I'm pretty happy with what I did this week. I hope you will enjoy what I did. And let me know in the comment section what you think of this week's segment of Building Hoth. I'm pretty happy. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed this week's episode, hit that like button, as well as stay tuned for next week's episode of Building Hoth. And if you're new to this channel, definitely think about subscribing. So I think that's going to be it. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.